Guys, Roaring Kitty is back, but there's not a lot of truth and reality coming out about him and what he's doing out here. It seems like a lot of people are kind of viewing him as being the savior of stocks and all these things and memes and all these meme coins that you're seeing trading on the exchanges and all this kind of stuff. And there's even GME on Solana now that went through $100 million market cap. And it's just crazy. And, you know, you got to kind of look into the data and understand the realities of what is taking place. So he came back, obviously, Keith Gill, which is this beautiful man right here. He came back after being on a little bit of a hiatus. He had his own little YouTube channel, and you can see his last video was 3 years ago with 1.2 million views. This last one had 2.4 million views. I did watch it, most of it, and I got to tell you, it was stupid as fuck. He's a lot smarter than he comes off. So you gotta read between the lines. This guy is looking like this because he's basically wants dumb money to buy GameStop. But things aren't gonna go like he thought last time. Things aren't gonna go the way he thought either, because even though there is a lot of dumb money in the stock market, most people consider retail dumb money. The reality is this: GameStop is in a much smarter situation to take advantage of these pumps, which is exactly what happened. GameStop themselves sold right here. Look at this. Also Friday, GameStop said it would sell up to 75 million shares days after it made $933 million by selling 45 million shares, meaning they have another 30 million shares to sell. Could be another like $600, $700 million, diluting the total number of tokens out there. So basically, GameStop is working against Roaring Kitty. Roaring Kitty has taken this bet, and he's like, I'm going with it. And GameStop's like, well, good for you. We're here kind of fuck you, which is kind of sucky move to make, but at the same time, GameStop is looking out for its own long-term interests rather than looking out for Roaring Kitty's long-term interests. So you got to know the truth from the reality, and nobody really is out here telling you the truth. So I will try. Now look at this. Look at this. These are things that you got to kind of take into account. Okay, this guy. Okay, this is insanity. Gill acquired 5 million shares of GameStop at an average price of $21.27. 5 million. It's like over $100 million, guys. Where did he get $100 million? He didn't make $100 million. So you got to think who's backing him up. Someone is either backing him up, or maybe he's been trading the last couple of years and he's made this much money. We don't know. That's fair enough. And then on top of that, he bought 120,000 GameStop June 21 calls, which is coming up, by the way. It's only 11 days away at a strike price of 20 for $5.67. So it's worth, it says right now, $6.40. So slight profit. But overall, he's not really in a slight profit. He's not, he's not doing all that great right now. This is a big bet he's made. He's coming out like this to pump his own bag. And even people like Joe Rogan, if you come over here, Joe Rogan was talking about this. Is he breaking any laws with GameStop stock? That's a good question. We don't know, but he's pumping his bag. Wall Street pumps their bags all the time. Wall Street uses analysts to basically pump their bags. They influence analysts. They pay analysts. They're not supposed to. In the back end, hey, you do this, we do that. There's all sorts of shady shit that goes on in Wall Street all the time. So a lot of people are saying what Roaring Kitty is doing isn't any big of a deal, but you got to understand what he's trying to do. He's looking like this to get that common element, that loser, that guy. Now, that retail investor that can be influenced. He's not your friend. He's looking to pump his bag. He's looking to turn his $100 million bet to $500 million and retire off of you. GameStop, on the other hand, is saying, you know what? Fuck you. Thank you, but fuck you. We're going to dilute our shareholders because this price is ridiculous. And they're basically telling you, GameStop is basically telling you the price that it is ridiculous, because every time it shoots up, guess who sells? GameStop. So it doesn't have that momentum it did last time. And even when Roaring Kitty was on live, the price was going down. Why? Why was the price going down? He had 2.4 million views. I bet you millions, if not billions of dollars got pumped into GameStop while he was broadcasting. Well, sometimes it's a sell the news event, but most likely GameStop was selling when they saw the volume spike. They made almost $1 billion to add into their cash reserves. Let me tell you something. When you got a market cap of $8 billion, and it wasn't even $8 billion, it was about $4 billion, even a little bit less than that, $4 billion and under, maybe even $3 billion. When you add $1 billion to your cash reserves, free money like that, you're going to do it if you're smart. GameStop did the smart thing. They sold right into this, and they're going to continue to sell right into this. I'm actually surprised it's holding so well because GameStop's not helping Mr. Kitty out. So listen, this thing could definitely do another rip, maybe back up to 40, but every time it's going to go, GameStop is going to probably sell because that's exactly what they've done so far. And if they continue to sell, this is not really a buying opportunity. It's more of a short opportunity where you could probably buy some puts and make some money on the other side. So you got to really read into these things, how they're working out. A lot of times you think this guy is on my side, that guy's on my side. This guy's not on your side. The guy has $100 million. Do you have $100 million? Maybe he was for the retail investors back in the day. Maybe he got lucky, but I wouldn't trust this guy now. I wouldn't trust this guy. Look at him. And it's not about looking at him. He's trying to get down to that most degen common denominator, that retail investor that doesn't know anything. Read between the lines. Also, the hedge funds are smarter this time. The hedge funds are also playing the game differently than they did last time. Everybody is playing the game differently. Every single body is playing it differently. And also, last time I think was a once in a lifetime kind of opportunity. Why do I say that? Well, when the stock market was roaring, it was doing it at the right time. We're not quite there yet. Okay, the liquidity, the M2 money supply, when this shot way up, all that liquidity that was coming through the stock market isn't there right now. It hasn't hit. Interest rates were all-time low. COVID had hit. All the money that we're giving out to people, $1,200 a month checks and all this other free stuff, rent pay, all this other free stuff that was coming through the pipes. That's not happening right now. You're not going to get the same amount of lift. Well, the hedge funds all know this. They're looking at these charts. They're trying to figure out where it is. Is it at $48 where we start shorting, $46 where we start shorting? Where do we start shorting? Where do we start looking at it? It's not going to go back to the all-time highs. I think it went to like some crazy numbers before, right? I don't even remember. What is the all-time? It was like $600 or $700. It was like some crazy numbers. I can't even find it here anymore. No, only has the 52-week range. Looks like it pumped all the way to $65. So yeah, it can run. It might even go to 100. There is a possibility, but it's not going back into the $500, $400 ranges. Because also keep in mind, GameStop might just continue to get more shares and sell right into it, sell right into it, sell right into it. They might just continue to do that and just work up their cash reserves, 1 billion, 2 billion, 3 billion. They don't care. They don't care about the stock price. What's more important for GameStop isn't the stock price. They don't care about it. They might not even own that much of it. What they care most about is the cash reserves and to keep the company going. What they want to do is completely different than what Roaring Kitty wants to do and probably what you want to do. Everyone is at odds here. So that's the truth. That's what's going on. Don't fall for this little gimmick. This is a gimmick. It worked last time because a lot of things lined up perfectly. Not everyone's at home. All those people that were at home during COVID, tweeting and texting and doing all their stuff, they're not home. They actually have to have jobs now because all the free money stopped. In fact, they might have to have 2 jobs now. They can't even pay attention to Roaring Kitty like they did because of inflation and everything going on. And this guy, he's kind of looking like a little bit of a grifter at the end of the day if you're really breaking down to it. He's kind of grifting now, and you can kind of see it. It's kind of bad. So anyway, guys, read between the lines. It's not always what you think it is. This guy's not a hero. He's got $100 million. He's got as much money as some of these hedge funds he's fighting against, supposedly. If you got $100 million, you're not for the people. You never were. You were always out for yourself. You might have fooled enough people along the way, and he's trying to use that fame to go to the next level. Just don't fall for it. Just be careful when you're trading GameStop and AMC and all these stocks. The companies are smarter now. They have stocks on the side where they have authorization from last time ready to go and dump on you. They're going to use this as a way to finance themselves and keep their salaries for their CEOs making tens of millions of dollars a year. Because they're like, hey, if we can raise another $1 billion, hey, we keep the board and everyone going for another 5 years. That's what they're thinking. They're thinking they might not even care about the stock price. Oh, we'll give out some more stocks. They can always issue themselves more options and more stocks. They don't even care. Let it go down. Screw CryptoKitty. Screw retail. We'll just buy it up later on when it goes back down. Their game, CryptoKitty's game, and your game everyone's got their own agendas. And that's kind of the stock market, what you're seeing right now. And you're kind of seeing it play out. I think personally, June 21st hits, Crypto Kitty and those call options, that's going to be tough. It's going to be tough for him to make money on those call options. He might lose money on those call options. That's a very, very highly likely situation. And then everything might even turn against him at that point. We'll see. I'll keep you updated for June 25th. 21st, sorry. It'll be a really interesting day to see what happens on this day. This is the day of reckoning right here when June 21st hits. It's going to be a fun day. Anyway, guys, I'll give you guys an update soon. Make sure to sub. We'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.